And Kate, I don't know about you, but I have been obsessed with Bachelor in Paradise this season.
Okay, I haven't been watching, but I've heard so much about it on social media, and I've never been more confused.
Well, how about we just let Hunter give us the recap for this season of Bachelor in Paradise?
I think that sounds like a good idea. Take it away, Hunter.
Hey sneak peekers, this is Hunter Yasway, your resident Bachelor recapper, and I'm back to talk about my favorite show right now, Bachelor in Paradise. Since it has been a long, full season already, I struggled with the best way to recap what's happened. I thought I could try to go episode by episode, or person by person, but ultimately I thought I'd count down my top 10 thoughts from this season 7 of Bachelor in Paradise. Coming in at number 10 is the inclusion of 4 new guest hosts. While Lance Bass, Titus Burgess, and Little John were all fun, David Spade stood out the most, as he truly felt like a superfan getting the opportunity to host. His jokes really hit, and he seemed like he was having fun, which made me have fun. He perfectly fit the silly, over-the-top nature of Bachelor in Paradise. Number 9 feels like something that's necessary to state, and then I'll move on. But someone behind the scenes this season loves food in an uncomfortable way, and I did not need to see tacos being eaten off people's bodies. Number 8 goes to everyone's favorite hot mess, Tajwan. Taj provided so much levity and comedy this season that I was truly sad when she removed herself from Paradise. Taj was also the center of one of the most shocking and strange reveals, that she had gone on a date with Trey's uncle. Thankfully, she told Trey he was a better kisser than his uncle. In the end, they sadly couldn't get past the weird stuff and make it work, so they both self-eliminated. As for number 7, I'll spotlight another favorite of mine, and that's Box Boy James. James faced a truly bizarre twist early on, as he thought he was forming a connection with Victoria P. before it was revealed that she came with a boyfriend, and also that people pee outside in Louisiana. I don't know. She fell apart quickly. But after that, he struggled to make a connection until recently. He seems now to be trying to form a connection with Tia. And as some guy named Blake was just a total jerk to Tia last episode, you can bet on James getting her rose tonight. All I know is I want poor James to find love, because he seems like such a nice guy. On the opposite end of the spectrum, I'll briefly touch on one of my least favorite contestants for the 6th spot, and that's Jessenia. My problem with Jessenia largely lies with her hypocrisy. Early on, Jessenia and Ivan seemed to be a really strong, steady couple. That was until Chris Conran showed up and took Jessenia on a date. Almost overnight, it seemed like she went from being all in on Ivan to being head over heels for Chris, leaving Ivan cold and even being openly affectionate to Chris in front of Ivan. So imagine my lack of sympathy when Chris does the same thing to her and makes out with Alana in front of Jessenia. I was even further frustrated with the situation when the collective seemed to bully Chris and Alana off the beach, not even allowing Alana to share her side of the story. All that to say, don't get upset when Chris leaves you for a girl he knew before the show, when you left Ivan for a guy you knew before the show. Not cool, Jessenia. For number 5, let's talk about 2 of the strongest and most loyal couples of Paradise. First, Noah and Abigail. I don't have much to say about them because, well, they've been together since day 1. Neither person has gone on another date, and they seem happy. I thought the pairing was odd at first, but they really seem sweet together. The other couple I'll include here is Marissa and Riley. While Marissa originally had a short-lived romance with Connor B, as soon as Riley hit the beach, that was all over. The fireworks were immediately there between Marissa and Riley, and they have been solid ever since. Now let's get into the more complex spot for the number 4 spot. And before I get into the insanity of former Bachelorette Becca being on the show, this story must begin with Tammy and Aaron. When the show began, Tammy and Aaron seemed like a solid pairing. That was until Thomas showed up. For those of you who didn't watch Katie's season, Thomas and Aaron are mortal enemies, and Thomas was the bad boy villain of the season. So Aaron was immediately upset that Thomas was on the beach. He was even more upset when he saw Thomas making out with Tammy. Just like that, Tammy and Aaron were over, and now it was Tammy and Thomas. That only lasted briefly, though, because as fast as Tammy dropped Aaron, Thomas dropped Tammy for the hottest commodity of Paradise, former Bachelorette Becca Kufrin. It still shocks me that she is even on this show, as she is the first former lead to come on Paradise. But she has been fun to watch, and she and Thomas have had a strong connection ever since. For number 3, I'll spotlight my favorite couple of Paradise, Grocery Store Joe and Serena P. While these two may seem like an odd pairing on the surface, they have truly been a delight to watch this season and to see fall in love with each other. They were able to form a connection fairly quickly and even got through Grocery Store Joe's ex, Kendall, trying to win him back and ultimately losing, making them possibly the strongest couple of Paradise and real fan favorites. At the number 2 spot, I would be remiss not to mention all that was Brendan and Piper. These two came into Paradise having already been in a relationship with each other. The biggest problem there was that Brendan came in week 1 and Piper didn't come in until episode 6, meaning that for weeks Brendan had to get his roses from someone else. So the entire show he was playing Natasha, making her feel like they had a connection just so he could get a rose and stay in paradise. It's shady at best and absolutely despicable at the worst. I'm not upset that he and Piper are together. I'm genuinely happy those two beautiful people found each other. However, my heart breaks for Natasha and the fact that she spent so much time and effort on a relationship that was never going to work. It also even ended up souring what could have been a positive future connection with Dr. Joe. When Dr. Joe said, "My Brendan, Natasha's, Joe's, and my heart all shattered." What had to be number 1 on this list, though, is Kenny and all that he is, including his now prosperous relationship with Mari. When Kenny showed up on day 1 completely nude, I knew he was going to be a driving force of this season, and boy was I right. I believe if I had to spotlight one main person as the main character of this season, it would be either Grocery Store Joe or Kenny. Kenny largely because he had so many girls interested in him throughout the run of the show. From early romance with Mari, to him getting sucked into all that is Hurricane Demi, and even going on a naked volleyball date with a personal favorite of mine, Tia Booth. He's been a hot item. This all happened after Mari told him she was open for dates, which backfired because she never got asked on a date, and he got asked on a bunch. Thankfully, he returned to Mari in the end, and they both realized what they have with each other is stronger than anything they could have with anyone else. And that's all I have. With a 3-hour-long episode tonight, an engagement-filled finale next week, and a drama-filled after the final rose, there's still plenty of Bachelor in Paradise left, and I'm so here for all of it.